right, and we're down here in Tucson today. Our 2-hour special for Hockey Talk in the Desert Southwest, taking a good opportunity to look at U of A hockey. We're going to take a look at the Roadrunners a little bit, but right now we're in the middle of the U of A conversation, and we got the new captain, the newly named captain of the Wildcats, Ryan Olson. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So tell me what it's like. I mean, this is like year number 4 for you down here in the desert, the old Pueblo. So what's it like to be captain right now and leading this team?
We're just excited to get going. It's going to be a fun year. We got a lot of good-looking recruits coming in, and I'm just excited to play one last year of hockey.
I hear you.
Leave it out on the table.
So for people that don't know, you've been here, like I said, for 4 years, but tell everybody where you're from and what brought you to Tucson originally.
So I'm from Minnesota, and I originally went out to the East Coast. I did a year of prep school out there, and then I went to a small college out there, and then I decided it wasn't for me, and so I transferred down to the desert and haven't looked back since.
So, I always joke with everybody from Minnesota is, what's the difference between Minnesota hockey and Arizona hockey? Can you tell the difference?
Well, Arizona hockey, people are from all over the place from where we're playing, so, there's some similarities and differences, but it's definitely nice to be able to walk into the rink in January in flip-flops.
Right.
That doesn't happen in Minnesota.
Nice selling point for recruits, right?
Exactly.
So tell everybody a little bit about what it takes to play as a Wildcat. What are you guys looking for in players? If you're a kid in Minnesota, for example, and you want to come down here, what do you have to bring?
Definitely a hard work ethic for sure. That helps get you anywhere and in any level. But then, other than that, it's a physically demanding league. So size definitely helps. Just all the intangibles.
So we talk about the opportunity to play hockey down here, and you've seen the changes certainly over the last 4 years with the growth of the program and the growth of hockey down here. You've seen guys go, teams jump up levels and stuff. So what's it like this year with UNLV being a D1 school, with you guys, with GCU adding the program? Did you expect that?
Yeah, hockey just in the last 4 years since I've been here, it's just been growing so much. All the leagues everywhere are just getting so much better, and it's like you kind of realize it's just getting a lot harder to play at high levels because there's so many more good players out there. So it's exciting to see the league expanding like that, and it gives us more credibility too, which makes it a lot easier for recruiting and getting guys down here to play hockey because, like a lot of people don't know, it is a serious league. When people hear club, they get a bad connotation about that just because they believe it's not as serious. But it's a serious commitment, and it's great to see the league expanding the way it is.
We always talk about club hockey and that type of thing, like you were just mentioning. But when you get into the national tournament and you're playing for a national title, it's probably one of the toughest things there is to accomplish, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we had a good experience with that a couple years back, which was a lot of fun. Being able to win a game at nationals was a blast, and it was awesome to be able to walk in that rink and see all the guys from different teams from around the country, and it just had a good competitive air. It was a lot of fun. So
down here in Tucson, it's the second year to be sharing the rink with a professional team. Mm-hmm. So how's that transition been for you guys over the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, it's been smooth. It's been for player wise, I haven't really been affected too much by it. I don't know what's going on too much behind the scene. So, but I like being able to see them play. Being able to watch a team that's just a step below the NHL is pretty incredible. To be able to share the rink with that is a treat. And
then throughout the fact you guys got a new locker room out of the deal, that had to be nice.
Yeah, no, we have a nice room now, which it's a cherry on top.
Absolutely. So as you prepare for this season, let's talk a little bit specifically about your play. What are you going to bring to the squad this year in addition to your leadership, obviously, as a captain?
Just hard work and just I want to be constantly just competing. That's what I want to do, and I want to make sure the team's always competing at a high level. And I'll do whatever I can to help out, whatever it takes.
So obviously, coach wants to build from the back end out, from the goaltender out. So when you look at your roster yourself, how do you see it playing out? Where's the strength of this roster going to be?
We'll have to wait to see once we hit the ice. We got a lot of recruits that are going to bring some good scoring presence to our team. We got some returners out in the back end. So it'll be, once we hit the ice, we'll see, but I'm excited for it.
And I have to mention you're filling some big shoes in Toppy's role last year, and and John's role last year, but you did keep John around as an assistant coach, right? Is that part of the deal? He had to keep a Hogan somewhere?
Yeah, no, they're a great couple to have around the team, so it's good. I'm glad we can still have John around here.
And we got Toppy with the golf clubs in his hand. Is he making an appearance every now and then, or is he going to?
I don't know. He's big time now, so we'll have to see. He's signing autographs.
Ryan, I appreciate the opportunity to sit down with you today. We'll see you all during the season, and congratulations again. It's a great honor to be a captain.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, we'll be right back with another segment of Hockey Talk in the Desert Southwest.
The Ice Den Scottsdale has always been the coolest place in the desert. Now with the addition of the Ice Den Chandler, our 2 locations hosting 5 sheets of ice make the Ice Den your home for youth, travel, and adult hockey leagues. Our nationally recognized Learn to Skate programs offer world-class instruction for skaters of all ages. Our pro shop features equipment and apparel with the top hockey and figure skating brands. 18 Degrees Express with the Chili Bean Cafe make the Ice Den the perfect place to host your next birthday party or special event. Visit us online at coyotesice.com.
All right, it's Old Pueblo week here in Tucson. We try to get down here as often as we can, but when we don't get down here as often as we want, we come down for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we come down to see, talk a little U of A hockey with head coach Chad Berman. Chad, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure to come down here because you guys are always so gracious to us. So let me get all that good stuff out of the way. I won't tell them about the booby trap locker room and that type of thing, but we're all good. We're in the locker room right now, as you can see the big A behind us, and year 2 of the new facility, the new locker room at least.
Yep.
What do we expect from Wildcat hockey this year?
Well, I always find it funny. It's hard to answer that question. I was telling the guys we've been working out the last couple of weeks off ice, obviously. For me, it's fun because I'm on the phone all summer, and you get to know these guys at a really in-depth basis, their hockey, their character, what every coach that they've ever played for has had to say. But now we're seeing all the faces come together, so for me, that's a lot of fun to kind of see the summer work and combined with the personalities we already have. I would say almost every single year when you ask me that question, my answer is not sure what our ceiling is, curious to see what our makeup is.
Right.
And right now what I would tell you is, I'm happy to say, is I'm not sure what our ceiling is, but I know what our makeup is. We've tested these kids hard the last couple of weeks, and there's no give, there's no quit. I think we've got good leadership from the top. Orion Olsen is pulling the top, and the new guys are really coming in and pushing from the bottom. What's impressed me the most is the work ethic and the business-like mentality of the new guys coming in. It's a nice addition to the group.
I've been coming here for 2 or 3 years now, and I know the challenges that you guys always have with ice.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, spending your time road tripping up to Phoenix to get ice. This year, you're pretty much locked in here. You're doing dry land. You're getting it maybe a little bit sooner than normal with the Coyotes and Roadrunners ice coming in.
It's about maybe a few days or a week sooner. Maybe I think really the benefit for us is not having to do tryouts in Chandler and maybe spend a few days every other week there. I think last time we spoke, we talked about, last year we literally were going into December, into Christmas break, and I'm still adding in, layers of systems, especially when you're not repeating. It's just not real tight, real fine. So, you want to layer it on and you want to build off of it, but you can't move forward until it's automatic.
Right.
And so the benefit of being at home, we can use our own facilities, have our stuff here. These guys don't have to worry about it academically. Obviously, it's a nice little breather in the budget for a little bit
Sure.
there, but primarily just to be able to have consistent practice to start, I think it's going to really, hopefully, change the start of our season. And then, obviously we had 10 injuries all at once last year. I think that matters when you're
That's
skating
big time.
consistently. So.
I remember watching you try to piecemeal the roster of defensemen last year, late in the year, and
Yeah.
you got it done, though, right?
I'll never forget playing UNLV and calling a timeout and saying, "Okay, who's played defense before?"
Right.
The second strangest timeout I've ever called for sure. So.
That's just unbelievable, but that's the type of thing that happens in hockey, right?
Yeah, well, I hope not. There's silver lining in all those things. Like when you get challenged, something beautiful can come out of it. And as a result, one of the people who selfishly puts his hand up is Orion Olsen, our captain this year. And he says, "Yeah, coach, I can play defense." I didn't know that.
Right.
And so he hops back in there, and I'm like, "Holy cow, he's got decent gaps. Well, I like his reach, his compete level 3-3 low, and now he's returning as a top 4 defenseman. We're going to leave him there."
Right?
So
He's earned that spot.
what do you know? Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about last season. We were here when you guys should have made the national tournament, in my estimation. You got kind of robbed after what you did to beat Arizona State here. Does that carry over to the season as you start this season? Any of that momentum that you guys had, the things that you earned at that point?
Well, I think earn's an important word. Let's be honest here. We put ourselves in a position to make that a toss-up.
Right.
I think we did enough down the stretch. What did we win 5 in a row down the stretch? I thought we did enough to make a great case for us, but we're not a group that's going to make excuses for ourselves. You can't lay an egg against Utah at home, back-to-back games, and then cry foul towards the end of the year. It's college hockey's competitive. We play in a very tough conference. Every game matters. And I'm hoping that's the learning lesson from last season, that you don't take weekends off, you don't take shifts off, and we move forward. In saying that, I mean, I certainly have a chip on my shoulder. I know some of the guys that have returned have a chip on their shoulder. We think we had a better team than that, and that we should have been in that tournament. And but really, it doesn't matter what we think; it's about what we do. And so we're out to prove ourselves worthy.
One of the things I've noticed traveling through the Desert Southwest so far is the growth of this level of hockey, particularly with GCU adding 2 teams now, a D2 and a D3, UNLV jumping up to D1. So it's bringing the competition level up, right? I mean,
Yeah.
What do they say? A high tide rises all boats, and that's
Absolutely.
definitely what's happening here. So what do you expect as the other teams continue to get better? Does that help raise your level as well?
No, yeah, no question. I think it raises the awareness, the growth of hockey out west. There's an open invitation to NAU, and they're ready, right?
Right,
So,
absolutely. Push.
I think for all of us, it's a good budgetary thing for travel. So we're taking less flights, more bus trips. I think it's important for ticket sales. We're hoping to, kind of generate a new rivalry with Grand Canyon. That makes a lot of sense in state. Obviously, we've got one at Arizona State, and that's unrivaled in the ACHA, in my opinion.
Right.
We have good battles with NAU. No matter what the games are, those in-state games matter, and I think that helps everybody for their ticket gate and all that stuff around, and it helps to grow out west here. But in my experience, being on the phones and recruiting all summer long now for the 4th summer here, what I'm finding is more and more kids. Like I played Division III at NCAA at Fredonia State. Loved it, had a great time. Had 4 or 5 friends from juniors on the team. It was a great place to play. But I find myself saying, well, why didn't I look at something like this? And what I'm finding is more kids are doing that. The prestige of the NCAA sticker on your helmet is great and all, but you get this. It's a small school. There's a lot that comes with that. Whereas here, people are starting to realize, boy, I can attend a major university, watch a top 5 basketball program, a top football program, and I can get that big school experience. I can have 80-degree weather in January when I leave the rink. I can get one of the best business degrees in the country. And by the way, find me a team in the state of Arizona that plays in front of 5,000 people.
Right.
So we can offer you an unbelievable experience, and I think you're seeing that. If you look at our recruiting class, we had some big hits.
Yeah.
Anthony Cusinelli is a kid he could have gone to any Division III program he wanted, and then he was a fringe Division I player. That's not enough. He needed to fit our culture and all that stuff too.
Sure.
But,
Yeah.
then you got Justin Plumouth and Larson. Those are 2 D3 transfers. It's just an example of there's so much opportunity in what we can provide here as a package. I think the word's getting out, and certainly we're benefiting from that.
So I know you haven't had a chance to see him on the ice yet, but tell me a little bit about where you feel on paper your strengths are. Is it goaltending, defense, scoring? Where's going to be the strength?
Yeah, I think we're a balanced team. There's a lot of wait and see. I like our D a lot. We had a few red shirts and medical red shirts that came back this year, so we're going to be able to return our matchup pair.
Yeah.
I think that's really important to have Ryan Siegel and Sean Osment return. That just really changes the dynamic of your lineup. When we can put those 2 on everybody's top line, and then it just puts a Manny Rowe and the Zelmers on a different pair. And Zelmer's another kid who we got a medical break from. Those are 3 important pieces for us. Now you got Orion in the mix. Cam Armstrong's coming back, who made tremendous strides toward the end of the year, and we expect Manny Rowe has unlimited potential in this league with the way he can skate and what he can do. You can't teach that. So obviously you've got that. We've got good push from the bottom of our D with Kearns and Hirsch, kids who can really steal some minutes, and they're ready to do so. We're really excited about a new kid named Neufeld. So we've got 9 solid D. If I had to choose a strength, she probably is our goaltending this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're excited about Austin Wilson. Sophomore year was tremendous. He pretty much carried us in the national tournament.
Right.
last year I think was a bit inconsistent for him.
Okay.
And so we're hoping it's a little more like the sophomore year, and when you bring in the caliber of goaltenders that we have, that's going to create competition and push and get the most out of him. Anthony Shuro's a kid who could be as good as he wants to be. He's got World University Games potential, I do believe. And so he's going to come in and push for minutes with Austin, and hopefully that brings the most out of him in his senior year. And somebody who shouldn't get lost in that shuffle, Nolan Bivolchik.
Okay.
He's a 6'3" goaltender, very athletic. But what stood out about me is the way this kid works. You talk to every coach, and I'm very thorough in trying to get a sense from other people about, because it's about culture. That's what we're trying to build here first, is culture. And every single coach said the same thing. He'll be your hardest worker. They said the same thing about Churro too. And then you talk to some of his teammates, and the guy was voted captain of his junior team last year as a goalie. Right? So you're like, that means something by his peers. So very excited about our goaltenders. Very excited about our D. Up front, I think it's a two different levels here we're looking at. Obviously, that top group of forwards we're excited about. I think Trey Decker is a sneaky player for us. That kid can skate. Heck of a kid, too. Really excited to add him. Max Mayer is a hockey sense kid, which we want to add more of. And Jacob Dickinson is another kid who's going to add speed and bite. So that's that layer of, okay, these new guys add a lot of what we want, hard work, some of that culture stuff, and they can produce.
Yep.
And then you look at a returning group. Westland's the leader of our group for sure. He's a kid who can come in and take another step as a sophomore. And it matters so much to return.
Oh, for sure.
But I think there's that layer that people aren't realizing. Like, I think the turning point of our, don't want to add pressure to anybody, but it's time to see how far is the development of a Tyler Gebauer, Charlie James come. And I think they're ready for it. They put in the work. They put on muscle over the summer. That really is now the time for their development to come on, and that's a big part of our recruiting process, really. It's from within.
So we know your players now. A couple other new things. Let's talk. I think you got everybody.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about some of the new things that are happening. When I look at your schedule, the first thing that jumped out at me is a couple of games away from TCC that are home games.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How'd that come about, and what are you excited about with that part of it?
It's very important that the kids get to see Mickey and Minnie and Donald on the ice here. So Disney on Ice will be taking over that weekend. And so we're going to head to Gilbert, and we're going to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 12th, 13th, 14th of October. Hopefully we can market it, make it a big thing. Like I said, there's silver lining in everything. The benefit is we're kind of closer to our alumni base. Hopefully we can get our alumni around. We'd like to create more awareness in the state of Arizona and continue. We're building that momentum now, but we want to continue getting the top kids out of Arizona. So hopefully we're connecting with the youth teams out there, and they're coming to watch and seeing what kind of level of play it is and what we provide. So we're excited about that weekend. It should be a lot of fun.
Well, I'll give you a sneak preview to that. We're going to feature you guys a couple of times
Hey-o.
while you're up there. So
All right.
We'll make that announcement this weekend. Been
Good.
waiting to get this interview done first, but we will be there for a couple of feature games. So
Good.
We'll look forward to seeing you guys on the ice up there. That's the other unique part. Tell me a little bit about your coaching staff. A little change on the coaching staff, and I know that there's something about U of A hockey where you can never get rid of a Hogan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a whole, part of the slogan that I'm pushing to our alumni, and I think you don't push it, it either exists or it's not. If it's not real, it doesn't work. But it's once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat.
Right.
So, you gotta, we're lucky. John's a very cerebral player. I can't wait to see how that translates from coaching. He's got great leadership qualities. He's going to be a perfect fit. Obviously, Eddie Lavilla is going to be back as well. But Jeremy Goltz, now we bring him on. He's an alumni here. We bring him on, a guy who's going to be the director of scouting in North America for us. He's going to provide, more of that bit of the past to the present around. Right. Shane Fausel's our goalie coach. What I think we're starting to build here is that this is bigger than any one of us. This is about the program, the city of Tucson, and that's really the approach we're trying to take.
All right, let's finish up, as I always do, giving you a chance to talk to the Wildcat faithful. Tell them directly what they can expect from Wildcat hockey this year, starting from the get-go.
Yeah, a really exciting year. We're excited to say we've added an extra weekend with Arizona State. $5 tickets for kids 13 and under. We want to provide the best family value in the city of Tucson, and we think we can do that of entertainment. September 29, September 30, we start right away with in-state rivals, Grand Canyon, and obviously Arizona State. That's a great way to kick off and hopefully pick up from some of the momentum from the end of last season. So come out in hordes, come loud, leave proud, and I think we'll put on the best show we can for you.
And just a reminder of that too, the 29th when you play Grand Canyon will also be a feature game. So we'll be down here for that as well. So
Are you coming the 28th for the media day?
we'll be here for the 28th as well.
That's another thing
That's
we're
the
talking
whole
about.
thing, right? Media day?
We got a media day the 28th. It's open to the public for the fans. Come on out. We're unveiling. I'm excited to say we've got 3 new jerseys we're going to unveil. So just tons of exciting stuff for this program. It's going to be fun. So come out and watch the new jerseys. We'll unveil those, and you can watch practice for free and get to know the new Wildcats.
Awesome. Sounds great. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come right back with your newest assistant coach.
All right.
Crime can happen to anyone at any time. Be a role model for the next generation. Become empowered. This is true life insurance.
All right, we're back with another segment of Hockey Talk here in the Desert Southwest. The Old Pueblo Show, the U of A, the Roadrunners, whatever we want to call it, it's in Tucson, right?
Yes, sir.
Joining me, the newest assistant coach for the program, the former player, I don't even know where else to go from here.
I don't know.
Okay, all I remember is watching you in that game against ASU last year score a big goal on a big comeback.
Yep.
And that memory will stick in my head, John, forever. So, John Hogan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. You just can't get away from me, can you?
Absolutely not. We got you and Toppy. We separated you a little bit. We
Yep.
sent one to the golf course, put the other one on the rink. But tell me what it's been like so far being a part of this coaching staff.
It's different. When we're doing off-ice stuff, it's nice to do the yelling and pushing people instead of actually doing the running. So I've been doing that for 18 years now. So
Right.
It's a nice change of pace, that's for darn sure.
I know after talking to Coach, he's happy to have you. Obviously, the motto he just brought up to us was "Once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat." So, what's it like for you to be back so soon after being on the ice to being able to influence the guys on the ice?
Well, I've always had an aspiration to coach. So doing my 5th year here for my master's, and what a better opportunity to give back to a program that was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And Chad, will never be able to express how grateful Toppy and I were for that opportunity. And all I want to do is give our players, returning and new players, the experience I had. So whatever I can do to do that, that's what I'm going to do.
Let's talk a little bit as a reminder. We do it all the time, but I think it's important for people to know your family's connection to the U of A and how it all got started for you guys. It's very unique the way you guys ended up being hockey players here. But tell us a little bit about, just recap that for us if you would.
So my parents both went here. We're from St. Louis. My sister went here, brother-in-law, aunts and uncles, they all went here. So after our senior year of high school, we thought we were done with hockey, and we come down here freshman year. We get acquainted with the Old Pueblo, but come sophomore year, there's a coaching change. As everyone knows, the college life changes from high school, so I had a ton of time on my hands. So I said, Chad, you need some help, and did stats for the first semester. And came December, I asked him, if my brother and I come out, can we at least skate with you and just be back on the ice? And he said, if you two are some of my best forwards, I'll just slide you on in. So the next 2.5 years were, again, once in a lifetime experience. So
the best part of that story you're leaving out, though, I like it when you go back in. And what did you tell Toppy when you told him you were going to play hockey?
he had no idea. He was sitting probably having popcorn and a soda on the couch. I said, Toppy, put your workout stuff on. We got a month to get ready. Let's do this. So he said, okay, I'll follow your lead.
And for those that don't know, you and Toppy are twins, so
Yes.
it's kind of one of those things where, like, if you told him he was going to do it, he was going to do it, right?
Yep, yeah. Push off this golf thing as long as you can, right?
Exactly. So last year you guys had some ups and downs. You had a lot of injuries. You fought through injuries. You fought through adversity at the beginning of the season. Everything from your bus being run into on a trip to Chandler
Yep.
to having to take road trips when you had barely been on the ice.
Yep, only to Arizona. Yeah.
So this year's a little bit different, right? You're going to you've done some dry land already. You got the guys in shape. You got a pretty good group of guys. Maybe one of the best recruiting classes here.
Yeah, in my opinion. But again, we'll see them on the ice Wednesday through Friday. So just can't wait for tryouts to start. Then we'll have practice Saturday, and we've told the guys, and they know these tryouts. Got to treat them like practice. We got only less than 3 weeks till we're playing Grand Canyon and ASU. So we got to be ready to go.
Yeah, the season, you jump right into it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Grand Canyon's a program on the rise at the D2 level, but a great new rivalry for you guys to start. I know they have aspirations of getting to ACHA D1 quickly.
Absolutely.
ASU is ASU, obviously. And then the rest of the schedule doesn't really get any easier, does it? With
No.
Arkansas, Missouri State, Oklahoma.
There's no milking our way into the season here. We're just going to be thrown in the deep end, and we'll do our best to swim. So. Again, looking forward to it, but there's no tiptoeing in this season. We can't be a second half team. We got to be ready to go.
So when you get the guys on the ice for the first time, is there a particular area that coach has got you lined up to work with, or is it kind of be a general overall?
I'll let you know next week, and I'm sure by the week after that it'll change. So Eddie is getting his doctorate, so. He'll let us know in the next week or two where he's sitting, but
Right.
Again, whatever Chad needs, I'm willing to do. So
Well, I can throw out something that I witnessed is get them to do that little cycle in the corner. That
Yeah.
always works really well.
Yeah.
And then if you want to break out once, or you want to bring Toppy back just
Yeah.
for a weekend and let him break out once, I love watching that cycle you guys do. Is that something you guys learned a long time ago, or is that just natural, or where'd it come from?
I think the first year of AAA, so it was 12 when we were 12.
Right.
We did. I thought it was a stupid drill, but all you did was you cycled the puck for a minute and a half until the coach blew the whistle and he felt you were comfortable. And again, back then we thought that it was like learn to walk. It wasn't really that big of a deal. But God, that stuck. It was ingrained in us, and for people like myself, and Toppy throws himself in this bucket too. People that can't skate that well, you got to make do with what you got. So we were always pretty good down low. So Toppy said my first drill I should do is a power skating drill. So
Imagine that.
We'll see how that goes.
You know what I loved about it was, and I hope he took good care of you all last season, because those goals he got, a lot of them came off of your hard work in the corner in the cycle. And you tell him right now,
Yeah.
I'm saying it right on camera, he got some goals because his big brother did some work for him.
Well, it's always nice when you have to give him the puck, and 90% of the time he puts it upper right. So I know I couldn't do that. So yeah, you're welcome, Toppy. Yeah.
So, John, we're looking forward to seeing you all season long. It's great to have you here. I'm glad you're back with the program again. Even though you're off the ice, it's nice to have you here. I know Coach appreciates having you here, and the Wildcat faithful are going to see a pretty stern team out there, I think, this year.
Yeah.
I got a feeling you guys aren't going to back down to anybody.
No, it's going to be a fun year. I think I think the rankings came out the other day. We're maybe 20th, but
move up on that.
the league's in for a surprise. So can't wait for the season to start.
I'm going to give you, like I give everybody, a chance to talk directly into the camera and tell the Wildcat faithful why they need to come out and support you guys this year.
Well, just because the Hogans left doesn't mean the Arizona team's not here. I know Joanne and your family, they're out there. The Hogans haven't left. I'm just ready for a great season, and we're gonna be better than last year. I can promise you that. So come out, support us. Can't wait to see you.
John, I appreciate your time, and we'll wrap up this segment and come right back with your new media. Well, not new, he was here last year.
Yep.
We'll bring Tim Gasson in and talk a little media, behind-the-scenes stuff, what he's doing for get your program off the ground and rolling this season.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, we come to the University of Arizona. When we come to Tucson, we save the best for last. So we got Mr. Tim Gasson, who is he wears a lot of hats, but right now we're going to talk specifically about one hat. It's got a big A on it. He is the media director for the University of Arizona Wildcat hockey team again.
Again.
So first, welcome back into the program.
Thank you, Scott. I'm delighted to be back with U of A. I was media director for the Wildcats last year. And perhaps you might remember, I was media director 17, 18 years ago for University of Arizona Hockey. So I'm delighted to be back in the program and to stay with the program for another year. This is going to be a big, crucial year for Wildcat hockey as it develops. So I'm delighted to be part of it.
When you say that, I have a follower, I guess you'd call him, on Twitter that follows U of A hockey, and he was once the voice of U of A hockey way back in, I think he told me 89 and 90. I'll give you his name when we get off the air, but he's very excited about seeing the program and the resurgence that we're seeing of it right now. So I know your job is endless. Anybody that does media work for anybody is a tireless, endless job, but some of the work that you did with having coach after the games on the ice and the things that you did to promote hockey is really exciting. And I know you guys have more things going on this year, so tell me a little bit about what we can expect from the media side of Wildcat hockey.
Well, thanks for the kind words. You know, we have some famous former voices of the Wildcats, as you mentioned. One of them is Todd Walsh, which a lot of you viewers will see.
Absolutely.
With all the Diamondbacks and Coyotes games. Todd Walsh is another former voice of Wildcat hockey and a U of A alum, so we're everywhere. You're right. You know, one of the reasons why I was brought back into this program is to develop more media and more awareness for University of Arizona hockey. So we're going to continue our Wildcat Hockey Report, which is a coach's show.
Love it.
Where we interview Coach Berman, assistant coaches, players, and other people around college hockey. As you said, we do Facebook Live at games before and during the games. We also do a free video webcast of all home games.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about doing some away games this year too.
Oh, exciting.
And
That's exciting.
there's a lot of Arizona Wildcat hockey being played in the state of Arizona outside of Tucson this year. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And so we hope that we're going to be able to have more broadcasting of the games outside of Tucson and enlarge that footprint for University of Arizona Wildcat hockey. As you know, Scott, this is all about perception. Do people know you exist? Can they see the quality of your team? Do they want to get involved? We have a great fan base around the country for the University of Arizona athletics, and we're looking forward to growing that fan base with hockey this year.
When I travel around the desert Southwest, as I do frequently, you probably know, everybody always asks me about U of A hockey because they can remember the glory years back when and how dominant you guys used to be. And they always go, you know, we love going down there to play in that facility. We love the fans that you guys bring out. So what's going on with U of A hockey? When are they going to be that team again? And I don't know if they ever were not that team, but I think a lot of people have general interest in the size of the university, the location of the university, and now with schools like Grand Canyon coming on board and UNLV stepping up, and we got this little network, don't we, of good college hockey in the desert Southwest.
Well, we're very excited about Grand Canyon University and UNLV becoming good rivals of the University of Arizona. That's very positive for college hockey, along with Arizona State. Very positive for college hockey. Scott, no, you're exactly right. I go back more than 30 years with U of A hockey, back to those glory days, and they absolutely were. We averaged more than 5,000 fans a game. We were in the national tournament every single year. I think we had 22 straight years that we were in the national tournament. We were in 8 Final Fours. We were in several championship games. We won a national championship. The market has changed in Tucson over the last 20 years. There's more to do. Now we have a professional hockey team here.
Right.
And also the administration of the team changed in 2010. And so it's been a turbulent change in the team. And we're just now reorganizing in a way that we think we can have long-term success, bring the fans back to the TCC. You have to understand, there aren't many college hockey teams at any level who are playing in a 6,000 seat arena, very expensive to do. And while we fill those seats for the ASU games, we need to fill them for all the other games too. So it's been a long transition for the team over this last 7 years. And we feel now we have some elements in place on the organizational side of the team that we really, in this next couple of years, there's going to be a marked difference in what you see in University of Wildcat hockey. And that starts this year. That's one of the reasons why I'm so excited to be back with the team.
And you know, one of the things that when you look around and I've had a chance to talk to you guys is you have a lot of fun stuff that goes on at games. It's an environment where people can go and it's actually entertainment. It's not just college hockey. But when you look at the level of college hockey that's being played, when I founded our company 3 years ago, and I said, you know, this needs to be elevated. It's too good to not have this. You know, having been in North Dakota and covered University of North Dakota hockey for 3 or 4 years, 5 years, I guess it was, I saw what that meant. You know, 11,000, 12,000 fans. Yeah, they're NCAA, but that can happen down here, and I think we're seeing it happen down here.
Well, and despite the heat, I think you can see me sweating on camera. It's because, well, it's September, and they just put the ice in. We're at the TCC at the Tucson Convention Center Arena, the U of A locker room. It's 1,000,000 degrees in this locker room. It is approximately, I am not exaggerating, okay, maybe 500,000 degrees in this locker room. But the ice is frozen out there. And we got to go out there, Scott, where it's nice. We're both. We're gonna need some water to survive this segment, I think. But no, you're absolutely right. It's and I'm going to write and talk about this a lot this year because I was thinking about it. We have several transfers from NCAA Division III teams to the University of Arizona this year. This level of hockey at the ACHA, especially in the top 20, is very comparable to NCAA Division III hockey. And this is a really good brand of hockey. It isn't the moniker of club hockey really doesn't matter to this level of hockey. At the University of Arizona, it's a highly sophisticated organization. We play in a real arena. And there's a lot of other organizations throughout the ACHA that operate at that kind of level with really good quality hockey teams.
And another thing I think that the ACHA and the NCAA are meshing, and I'm going to lead this back to your rivals up at ASU, but when Coach Powers won the national championship 4 years ago at ASU, and they immediately made the jump to NCAA, now I start to see a lot of other schools with that same vision. It takes a lot more than just winning an ACHA D1 championship, but UNLV's got that now with sites. And as your programs get better, bigger, the competition gets better, people start to notice, all of a sudden these boosters and the people with money that can make these programs happen start to come out of the woodwork and go, hey, why can't we be this?
Yeah, it's funny because when I talk to U of A fans and boosters, I talk about how good ASU hockey is for hockey in the state of Arizona, and they look at me like, what are you talking about, Tim? And it's like, it's wonderful that ASU has an NCAA Division I team. That is great for hockey in the West, and we want their ACHA team to be successful too. This makes hockey better for the entire state. And here at the U of A, this is how we see things. We need to grow hockey in the entire state of Arizona, and nothing grows hockey better in Arizona than that rivalry between the University of Arizona and Arizona State. And there's another analogy for the ACHA jumping to the NCAA, and that's Penn State. Yeah. Penn State and ASU used to be the U of A's biggest rivals at the ACHA level. Of course, a few years earlier than ASU, Penn State moved up to the Division I level, and look how far they've gotten so quickly in the Big Ten. ASU at the Division I level is not very far behind. Right. They're getting great recruiting classes. Once they have their new building, a 5,000-seat multi-use kind of building in the ASU area, that's going to be a top 10 program forever. That will be great for University of Arizona hockey because it'll grow the sport for the entire state.
And what we see all around I know the Valley for sure is that there's a lot of youth hockey players going on right now, and I know the Roadrunners have done a great job of building the junior Roadrunners and that program, and it's going to lead to new buildings, new ice surfaces, and as that happens, the numbers grow, that becomes a feeder program, and all of a sudden you got players.
Well, that's absolutely right. It's one of the reasons why ASU can have a Division I program and two ACHA programs. They have a Division I and a Division II ACHA program at ASU because there's enough ice in the Phoenix area, there's enough youth players, they have enough good quality players to stock all of those teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to make you sweat this one out because we got a couple more hats to cover, so we're going to do that outside. We'll do the Roadrunner segment next. But Tim, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll have you on multiple times during the year. We're going to be down here for at least 10 feature games, so we'll be featuring Wildcat hockey on our new thing, which is called the feature game. There's 50 of them over the next 33 weeks.
Well, I'm delighted to be on your show, but the next time you come to Tucson, bring some air conditioning, will you? Or maybe the next time you come, nature will be our air conditioning. It'll be hockey season, and I look forward to that too.
All right, thanks, Tim. We'll be back with another segment, the second half of the show, which we're going to devote to Roadrunner hockey.
In today's odor elimination, sanitizing, and deodorizing market, air spaces and fabrics are treated with very aggressive, highly toxic, and often very dangerous but cheap chemical-based solutions. These chemicals have harmful residues and pollutants that can impact your health and the well-being of those around you. This is the bad news. The good news is there's something better. That something is OxyPal. OxyPal is a fast-growing company based in Phoenix, Arizona, with franchises opening across North America. OxyPal has developed a way to eliminate, not mask or disguise, all organic-based odors in any airspace or on any fabric surface with ozone, also called trioxygen. Ozone is present in the atmosphere, and it is what protects our planet, our environment, and every living thing on Earth. Through years of research and development, OxyPal has perfected a way to harness and apply this powerful solution to purify airspaces and fabric surfaces safely and effectively, eliminating all organic bacteria, viruses, mold, fungi, and allergens on the molecular level. OxyPal has designed and perfected many next-generation and evolutionary alternative products and services safe for people, pets, and our planet. The solutions offered by OxyPal are stronger, safer, non-toxic, and a great value. Visit our website and online store today at www.oxypal.com. On our website, you can make a service appointment, buy products, or learn more about us and our great franchising opportunities.
All right, we're still here in the old Pueblo. We still have a familiar face. He's put on another hat.
Different hat.
Tim Gasson, AZ Puckman, right here, the color commentator for the Tucson Roadrunners. Second year, right?
Correct, sir. I'm delighted that I'll be back with Tucson Roadrunners on the radio call with Tom Callahan for all the home games and perhaps some road games this year too.
And we're right here live at FanFest for the Tucson Roadrunners. And people all around us, all kinds of fun going on. We got more fun going on. Look who snuck into the camera shot. Dusty, come on in here.
It's
Come
Dusty,
on in.
formerly Rocky Roadrunner, now Dusty Roadrunner. Dusty, this is FanFest today, which means that we have Roadrunners fans excited about this new season. So tell me, who's the #1 hockey team in the American Hockey League? Who is it? It's the Tucson
Yeah,
Roadrunners.
right here.
Who are the best fans in the American Hockey League? That would be the Tucson, Arizona fans. Are you excited for the season? Well, you heard it from the beak of Dusty the Roadrunner himself. Put it here, buddy.
Dusty, thanks for stopping in.
Good luck
We'll
this
see
year.
you all season long.
I love mascots, as you can tell, and I especially love the Roadrunner mascot, of course.
Right.
The Roadrunners were the Arizona's very first professional team, the Phoenix Roadrunners, in 1967. So the tradition of the Roadrunners lives on now in Tucson in the American Hockey League.
And for those that don't know, tell us about the other hat that you wear, the one you're most proud of, probably.
Yes, another hockey hat that I wear besides being the columnist for the Arizona Daily Star, the hockey columnist, and doing media for U of A Hockey, is I'm the president of the World Hockey Association Hall of Fame. Now that was a major league in the 1970s that merged with the NHL at the end of the 1970s. And why am I talking about this? Because the Phoenix Roadrunners was a team in the World Hockey Association. So once again, the Roadrunners here in Tucson is a continuation of that great tradition.
And how great is that? I mean, last year they had an exceptional season. They went through adversity, of course, with the Craig Cunningham medical issue that happened, but all things being equal, he came out of that about as good as could be expected, right?
Yeah, you know, the Craig Cunningham story was both the high point and the low point, and then the high point again for the Roadrunners last year. His injury, his collapse on ice, and then his recovery. Now he's back skating. It's an amazing recovery, and it kind of set the tone for the Roadrunners last year. They were in first place of the AHL, the entire league, for a good portion of the season, and then after the All-Star break, started to falter a bit and missed the playoffs. So Tucson fans already in 1 year have seen the highs and the lows of having a professional hockey team, and they're all excited to see, as I am, what are the Roadrunners going to bring for the second season?
You know, Tim, as I travel the Desert Southwest, I tell people, if you ever want to go see professional hockey at a very good level, at a very good price, and in a very good arena, come to Tucson. You got to see the Roadrunners. Everybody that comes down here tells me thank you for telling me about it because the experience is incredible.
Well, as we were saying, the Tucson Arena here seats about 6,700. It's a beautiful arena for pro hockey and for college hockey. The Roadrunners drew very well, especially for their first year here in Tucson. It's a very enthusiastic crowd. They put on a great show. I think that this year is going to be a breakout year for the Roadrunners. I think attendance is going to blossom. Now we just got to see what kind of team do they put on the ice.
Yeah, you know, and let's talk about that a little bit. The group that was here last year was about as close to NHL caliber talent as you can see in minor league hockey, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, having a very talented minor league team is problematic for their NHL parent. So this was kind of problematic for the Coyotes. How many of these guys do we actually bring up to bring the parent to help the parent team? And they brought up a bunch. Who do we actually send down because the talent level was so good in Tucson? And as we know, the Coyotes are fighting to get back as a playoff kind of contender. They need this young talent. So that's going to be one of the major stories of this season. How many of these young kids stay in Tucson for a good part of the year, or are they brought up quickly to the Glendale Arena?
And you know what's really neat about what the Roadrunners were able to do last year was, with that talent moving back and forth, they were still able to be very competitive, very exciting, and win some games.
Well, you know, this was an adjustment that I had to make, like the hockey fans in Tucson had to make, of how you follow an AHL team. It's a developmental league, and the players are constantly coming and going.
Right.
That's very odd for a fan to get used to, because you get attached to a guy, he becomes the best player on the team, and then suddenly he's in a Coyotes jersey and he doesn't come back for the rest of the season. This is going to be, it's a continual challenge. That challenge isn't going to go away just because the Roadrunners went through 1 year.
Right.
Now they have a new crop of young guys and some veterans from last year's team trying to come together and go through that kind of merry-go-round again, up and down to the Coyotes.
You know, and what's really unique is that the Coyotes, as everybody knows, had a major coaching change, major ownership change, all of that stuff. That obviously has to trickle down here. But as I walk around FanFest today and I see the excitement, it really hasn't changed the excitement level, has it?
No, you know, we had a good coaching staff here last year and in Glendale with the Coyotes. As you said, both staffs have been changed, and that's another thing that fans need to get used to at this level, at the AHL level. These coaches and coaching staffs are also developing, and they want to get up to the NHL, and they're not going to be here for 5 or 10 years. You're going to have different coaching staffs, just like you're going to have different rosters each year. And I think there were probably 20 or 25 complete different rosters in Arizona last year because of the up and down, and also trades. And you have to get used to that at the AHL level.
That's professional hockey.
Well, it is professional hockey, but at the NHL level, you like to have a little more stability and a less of that kind of stuff. I mean, you have to remember, at the AHL level, the Roadrunners not only were sending people up, they were bringing people up from the ECHL.
Yeah.
And sending people down to the ECHL. So they had guys going up and down at the various levels of hockey. Now you can imagine what a challenge that would be for an AHL coach and an AHL general manager. And if you can do that and make that successful, you're going to show to the major leagues that you should be in coaching and a general manager.
I'm going to ask you a question as your job as color commentator. Give me one, if you can, one thing that stands out this season, one good memory that of Roadrunner hockey that you called, along with Tom. Tell me a little bit about something that you just can't get out of your head.
Oh, from last year, you mean?
From last year.
Well, there was, I'm the color man for radio, but I did call play-by-play for a game.
Okay.
So this was an exciting thing for me. I've been in broadcasting for a long time, but I hadn't done play-by-play at the AHL level. And Kyle Wood, rookie defenseman for the Roadrunners, who was an all-star for Tucson, scored 2 goals in that game, and I got to call both of those goals. They were beautiful goals, and that's a memory for me that he's going to go on and play in the NHL for a long time. He's going to be a great, great player. And in his rookie season, I was able to call one of his best games. That was a real memory for me.
I'm going to bet that you got that tape somewhere.
And I show it to Scott. I send him clips, and I say, "Look at that!" But it wasn't my call even better than the play, Scott. That's what I say to him. No, you're absolutely right. It's, you know, we were talking about the World Hockey Association. I grew up in Indianapolis. Wayne Gretzky started his career with the Indianapolis Racers, and I talked to the play-by-play guy who got to call Wayne Gretzky's first major league goal,
Right.
and he gave me the tape, and he gave me the video, and it's one of the most amazing things. He went on to call games in the NHL for a long time, but his favorite memory is I was the guy who got to call Wayne Gretzky's very first major league goal with the Indianapolis Racers. So that stuff will stick with you.
That's the beauty of hockey, I think, as a sport too, is that it's such a tight-knit group, right? I mean, people see them from all different levels. Your role with the World Hockey Association and the Hall of Fame, that's your forte, isn't it?
Well, I love hockey history. I love hockey players. And, you know, a lot of fans, once a player retires, he's of no use to them. He's no longer helping their team. Retired hockey players who played 30 or 40 or 50 years ago in the NHL and the WHA are like gold to me. That's the history of our game, and they have such wonderful stories. They're the ones who made hockey today possible, and they're very important to me. And I think kids growing up don't only get excited about the young stars of your game, get excited about the guys who built the game. And, you know, it's funny, this is going to show our age now, Scott. The guys like Wayne Gretzky now are considered the old men of hockey. Wayne's been retired for like 15 years now, so that is an appreciable time ago. But he's not an old guy, but there's a lot of young hockey fans that I talk to who don't even know about Wayne Gretzky
Absolutely.
and just how great a player he was. I think in order to enjoy hockey at all levels, and I know you cover hockey at all levels, you need to also enjoy the stars of yesteryear to understand how we have this great game we have today.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, I appreciate you taking some time out for us today here in Tucson at FanFest. I'd want to do one more segment with you, but I want to see if we can sneak up for people that are here. They're here to get season tickets, right?
Right, yep.
So I'd like to do a little segment, if we can, if you got the time, up somewhere in the bleachers where we can show off what it's like to get a seat here in the Tucson Convention Center.
I think we can do that, Scott.
Let's do it. We'll be right back. All right, we're back with another segment of Hockey Talking to the Southwest. We've brought the AZ Puckman up to his more familiar surroundings. We're up here at almost the rafters of the Tucson Arena.
At the broadcast location where we do our games, yes.
Absolutely. So as we stand here right now, you've already told me about one of your favorite memories, but tell people what it's like to be able to come in here and watch a hockey game, an AHL hockey game, and get that view.
Well, you see, an arena this size, about 6,700 seats, is about half the size of an NHL arena, which means the media position is at the halfway mark of an NHL arena. That's how close we are to the ice. You can't get a better seat. So it's a wonderful vantage point for both the U of A college games and the Roadrunners games, because this building is the absolute perfect size to see a hockey game. Big enough to be a professional event, but small enough to have that intimacy where everyone's close to the ice.
Speaking of professional event, you guys have a big-time NHL game coming here, don't you?
We do. We have an exhibition game coming up in just a couple weeks here in Tucson. Now, it's not the first NHL exhibition game that
Right.
has been
Yeah.
here in Tucson, but I think it's been about 20 years.
Here comes the history part of it, right?
Yes. Yeah, you see, back to the hockey history, because the Roadrunners were saying to me, says, Tim, you know, this is the first time that an NHL preseason game will be in Tucson. And I say, but I was there for previous ones here in Tucson, Roadrunners. It's not, but it's, I think, only the third or fourth NHL preseason game in Tucson history.
You know, last year we thought it was great when they brought the scrimmage down here, brought the NHLers. That was a big hit with
Yes.
everybody. This is going to be even a bigger hit, I take it.
Oh, this is gonna be a big deal. You know, Tucsonans want the Coyotes to be successful. They want the Roadrunners to be successful, and it's a lot easier to root for your AHL team when you see the NHL team play right here in your hometown. So this is going to be an exciting thing for Tucson.
So as we look around the building, I've got Robert, our cameraman, doing a little pan. You can see across, but there's really not a bad seat in the house, is there?
You know, this is one of my favorite venues. I've been probably like you to hockey venues all over North America, in Canada, in the U.S., and in Tucson, Arizona. One of my absolute favorite hockey venues is the Tucson Arena because of its size, its layout. It's a beautiful facility, and every AHL team, you know, last year it was a first for every team to come here, talked about how excited they were to come to the TCC and how surprised they were at the quality of the facilities.
You know, I look around here, I can still see there's just a few green stickers on the seats, which is, today was Fan Fest, giving the people the opportunity to come and actually grab one of those seats if they prefer. So, in your opinion, how did things go today?
Well, I know it was exciting. There were a lot of people waiting to come in when the doors were open, which was exciting. And, in a place like the Phoenix area or Las Vegas or Tucson, we're excited about hockey season for an additional reason. It means it's going to be less than 1 million degrees out. It means fall is coming. So there was a lot of excitement in the building today about hockey season is coming.
I want to touch one more thing before I let you go. I want to talk about the Junior Roadrunner program and what the Roadrunners have done to bring kids into the fold here.
Yeah, youth hockey is so important for a lot of reasons. Financial reasons. If there's a good youth hockey program, it means more ice rinks can get built. Now that the youth hockey program in Tucson is really growing, we're getting closer and closer to building more ice here in Tucson. The Roadrunners became a sponsor of the junior team, the youth team here in Tucson this past year, and they've put a lot more support into that team, that youth program for this year. They're very proud to wear the Junior Roadrunners. And what you're doing is also you're growing your next generation of fans.
Right.
Because obviously the kids who are Junior Roadrunners are going to grow up be excited about the Senior Roadrunners. So it's a really, really smart move. And you've seen youth hockey all over the Desert Southwest. Look what the Las Vegas Golden Knights are going to do for youth hockey in Las Vegas. It's going to explode there, and that's going to be great for Western hockey.
And the neat part about it is you see the Roadrunners in action year-round. I mean, I've seen clips of them almost every day somewhere being part of the community, and that's so big for any program is to be a part of the community.
Well, people wondered when this team came here. Well, Tucson embraced a pro team. It's a college town. Well, they understand that this team is part of the fabric of the community. I think this team, the Roadrunners, did a great job last season getting themselves integrated into the community. Once Tucsonans see year in and year out that commitment is real and continuous, I don't think there's any doubt that they will be part of the fabric of the Tucson community.
Tim, I appreciate your time as always. It's been a great day down here in Tucson, and we look forward to being back here.
Thank you, Scott, for coming to Tucson. You're going to bring cooler weather with you the next time I see you. I know you will.
Promise. Next time I come down.
Okay, good.
1 more degree cooler.
Thank you.
All right, we're back with another segment of Hockey Talk in the Desert Southwest. As you can see by our background, we're still in Tucson. We're still doing the old Pueblo thing. And now we're talking with I'm going to say the newest member of the Roadrunner team, the new media director here, Walt Ruff. Walt, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Well, tell me a little bit about, first of all, your background and what brought you to Tucson, Arizona.
Sure. Well, I feel very fortunate to be here in the first place. I think this is a tremendous community. I couldn't be more excited to be here, getting to work with a ton of people within my first few weeks here. I started in the hockey industry a few years ago with a team called the Lone Star Brahmas in the North American Hockey League.
Yep.
Tier 2 junior hockey right now. And then was fortunate enough from there to make the jump to the Norfolk Admirals, the ECHL, formerly the AHL, of course.
Right.
And then was presented with the opportunity to come here this summer. And obviously, I felt it was almost too good to be true. And like I said, I couldn't be more grateful to be here.
What's it been like so far since you got to Tucson, other than a whirlwind? I know learning the job, doing everything you got to do, but tell me what you thought of the community, the program, all of that.
Sure. No, I can't speak enough about the community. I think this is tremendous. Getting my feet wet with events such as today, the Fan Fest for us, it was really an exciting opportunity to meet a lot of great people. I think, the fan base here is obviously something that we felt tremendous about in year one, and we're looking to grow that for year two. Again, the community, the weather, the area, I'm just so ecstatic to be here, and I can't say enough kind things about everybody so far.
So have you been here yet on a 120 degree day yet?
Everyone's telling me I got here at a good time of year. I think I missed out on some of that this summer, but I'm looking forward to it next year. Like I said, I know, for as much as we wait for hockey to get here, then the season flies by, right? So I'm sure the 120 degrees will be back here soon.
Talk about not only today, but talk about this beautiful facility we're in. As an AHL hockey team goes, this is one of the best.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. This is tremendous. I definitely have to give big kudos to as the ice is being laid down behind us. Not only, the TCC staff, but my fellow Roadrunners workers. This is a tremendous project from start to finish that a lot of people should be proud to be a part of. Again, I think you hit the nail on the head. This is a wonderful facility.
what I think when I think of Tucson Roadrunner hockey is it's a year-round event, right? I see you guys on social media doing something literally every day, which is hard to do in the desert. But you guys do a great job. But what's the secret to doing that?
Well, I think Alex Kinkoff deserves a lot of credit there, and Tom Callahan as well. You know, I'm entering a great situation with people who, you know, two extremely talented people who probably didn't even need my help, but you know what, I'm really honored to be helping them. And I think with having content every day, I think that's us just showing we want to be active. You know, this is a community that deserves a lot. We want to show that with being Tucson's professional sports team, we want to show that not only we're here to stay, but we want to give the fans that grade A standard. So I think that's just what we want to do on a daily basis, and I think that's why we do it.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time out. I know it's been a busy day for you with fans running all over the place, but I appreciate the time, and I promise you I will be all over the place. So tell me no when it's no time, okay?
Please, no, I'm really looking forward to working with you, Scott, and I think we're set up for a great year here this year.
Awesome. Thanks, Walt.
Thank you.